G'day guys, Jared here from Word of Mouth Technology. I'm here with Andrew Willis, and we're just going to go through a brief introduction to Front Row Conductor.
Hey Jared, yeah, this, as you said, it's a good chance to share with some of our customers who are using lots of our products already, just what the possibilities are with the Conductor platform. And you thought that this might be a good way to share that with them. What have you found is it that pricks people's interest about the concept of the Front Row Conductor platform?
It's amazing how many schools are still using the old push button system, which in really there's hundreds of buttons on a wall, but I think probably only one or two of those buttons would ever get pushed anyway. So this is allowing them the flexibility to take more control and I suppose come into the 21st century, get up to speed as far as what technology is out there. So using a computer interface, pre-programming all the bells and having the opportunity instead of playing, and believe it or not, some schools are still using old cassette tapes to play music for their bells. So this is allowing them to pre-program all that.
Yep.
Also the opportunity to tap into our Juno or our Soundfield classroom systems and giving the ability now to contact a single classroom if they want to, instead of making a whole school announcement to put across a message.
Yep.
In case for example, if I want to contact you in a certain room, I can now contact you directly in the classroom using and being connected, the conductor, to the Juno systems or the EasyRoom systems that are in the classroom.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? It's that excitement people get about the fact that they don't have to disrupt the whole school just to get the attention of one particular room or student or teacher. And of course, the beauty of Conductor is that it works on the school's existing network. So schools already have a network. Often a lot of the schools that we've worked in have got, available network ports on their Ethernet ports, because they use a lot of Wi-Fi now. And as long as we've got a network connection into each room, we can get you online with Conductor. I might just run through this quick slideshow that just shows people some of the functionality, if you like. So we talk about how it works with the backup power. If your network has a UPS system on it, and you run PoE, we can use that to support our products. And that basically means if the power goes off, we can get some power over the network and our system still operates. And schools that we've talked to aren't really that excited about running their bells when the power's off. And I think that is always going to be the case until a school has no power. And when the power goes off and you need to make an evacuation because a fire has occurred, that's going to be when you're pretty conscious of wanting to be able to make an announcement. And if you have that infrastructure set up that way, I guess that's what your possibilities are with using power over Ethernet devices.
And I suppose the greatest example we had was the opportunity to talk to, and Salesian College came to us, and again they had all our Juno systems in their classroom, and they had that exact thing happen, didn't they? So where they lost communication with their other campus.
Yep. And being able to run this stuff over the switches means that just because the admin area is not accessible or has no power, the system works through a server. So as long as the server room's got power, or if we're running a virtual server, you've got access to running it through backup power as well. So with the Front Row platform, I guess it's divided in different areas. We look at the administration area, as this slideshow shows you, common areas, classrooms, special areas like offices, how it works with telecommunications, and obviously when you get it, how does it get implemented. The admin software, this is what you put in at the reception area typically. It can go on any PC. It's a very basic PC that you need. We would suggest you use a dedicated computer rather than put the software onto the reception person's computer, because you don't want people interrupting that person to make announcements. And that way it's set aside and free to be accessed by anybody. The console really just gives you a Windows interface that lets you look at it, kind of like your Outlook calendar, where you can click and drop and drag things. And I think the nice thing about this has been that people like the fact that on the fly, they can change the bells for the day. They can drag it across a wet day timetable, and you don't need to call in the bells guru and pay for a service call for someone to change the time that the bells go off. You can do it all yourself. And if you don't have the technical capacity, we can provide that support even remotely if that's necessary.
The discussions I've had and I think you will attest to this too, Andrew, is the fact that there's normally just that one person at each school that tends to be the guru of their
Yeah.
bells and system. And if they happen to be ill or whatever or not available, then suddenly there's that panic thing. So it's a fairly, as you said, easy interface to use. So.
Yeah. And that other thing on this side is just the notifier. And that's basically what happens if you've got endpoints in your classrooms, like our Juno product, and you have them on the network. You can basically push the button on the teacher's mic to notify the office that you want to talk to them. They'll click acknowledge and you open up that communication. So that's the end game for this, is getting a classroom and a school equipped with Junos or our classroom product in every classroom. And as long as the teacher's wearing a microphone, they can talk back to the office and the office can talk to them, and they don't have to find a telephone. More and more of the schools these days we work in don't have telephones dedicated to each classroom. So that's where the notifier product comes in. So just to reinforce it, you've got this admin station kit, which is basically just some software and a stream encoder. That's what takes the signal from the microphone and pushes it into a digital format to send it over the network. You can put a talkback kit in, which is basically something that if you really wanted to, you could put one on the desk in the principal's office, and that allows them to make announcements to a predetermined number of rooms. So you might give the principal's office an all page button. That means when they press that button, it pages all the classrooms. They don't have the functionality of the touch screen, but it makes it really simple and quick and easy for them. This is your server. The server itself, you've got two options now. Only in the last couple of weeks, they've released a virtual option for this product, which is good for schools that want to run that in a virtualized environment. But we also have the availability of the physical server as well. And that's good from a service point of view, because our product is able to be supported by us. If a school, we had an incident with one of our customers at Use Conductor, they had a flood in their server room, and we're able to very easily bring them back online just by taking a replacement server, physically swapping it over, taking the backup out of their old server, and they're back online within a day. But that's what the server looks like. Not much to look at, but that's the brains of the system. When we talk about the common areas, this is the concept here that we use our stream decoders. So these are basically endpoints, and there's a couple of options with these. You can run an endpoint that powers an existing or new 100-volt PA, and 100-volt is the term we use for amplifiers that can drive a number of speakers. So if you've got a gym and it's probably got 10 speakers around the basketball court area, you might want to just keep that there. We can put an endpoint in front of the amplifier that's driving that area, and that now brings that system onto the network. So the gym would be determined as its own zone, and that means that you can disable the bells and PA in the gym. Maybe you've got a special event on in there, or likewise, you can just play music in the gym and not disrupt the classrooms. That's the possibilities with that. So we use these in any configuration, and as I said, connected to a 100-volt amplifier. The other possibilities you've got for stream decoders, and we've done this for a couple where you might have, in fact, one of the schools they're working on now, we're going to put in an endpoint which can power 2 8-ohm speakers, and that'll cover each double classroom. Yeah. And that's really neat because it gives them an economical way to provide announcements to classrooms without using the old infrastructure. So it's completely on the network. And that's probably a better slide here that explains how we're doing that. It's kind of like an IP speaker. An IP speaker is just a word for a speaker that has a networked endpoint that you can plug into the school's network. And the idea is that even if there's no power, it uses the power over the network. And of course, you don't have to do that. This speaker here is an illustration of the one that's used a lot in the US market. We tend to use a customized one here that suits the aesthetics of the buildings we're working in. So if a school's already got in-ceiling speakers, we can just adapt to use those or replace those. Or likewise, if you've got concrete ceilings, we can use a surface-mounted speaker. The little stream amplifier is a great product. It's actually now called a CM900, and that'll drive up to 4 speakers. So it's a really powerful little product that doesn't just provide amplification for the PA sound. You can use one of these endpoints to power the AV speakers in the room. So rather than duplicating your assets and having an amplifier for the TVs, speakers, plus a PA speaker, we can do it all with our product. So it allows you to slowly decommission all these services that are running in parallel and end up just with a focus on one platform. Juno Connect, I mean, many people who see this be really familiar with Juno as a product. Connect is just a networkable version of Juno. And what's great about this is no matter how old your Juno systems are, you can get a network module, plug it into your Juno, and that brings it online to the network. So that becomes its own endpoint. And obviously that's a great product for not only amplifying the AV in the room, but most importantly, amplifying the teacher's voice. And we know that there's value in amplifying the teacher's voice in the classroom, don't we, Jared?
Yes, we do. It certainly do. We've had this similar discussion, I suppose, as I said, with Salesian, and even Mount Evelyn, little Christian college something. So we've had plenty of conversation with those, and they're starting to do exactly the same thing, connect them onto their Juno systems.
And that availability of that one product, single speaker, microphone, amplification, plus being the bells and PA, means that a school's able to promote not only the safety or the occupational health and safety benefits of this product, but rely on providing a more connected workplace. So it's quicker and easier for the office to talk to the classroom, and it's great for the teacher to be able to talk back with that microphone they're wearing. EasyRoom's exciting. We've used this on a lot of newer projects, and basically EasyRoom is like a Juno, but you can't see it. So EasyRoom gives us everything the Juno has, but we hide it in the ceiling or in a wall box. And when we use that, what you basically get is fantastic sound, usually through 4 speakers. It's on the network. It can be accessed over the network, obviously, to change the settings, but really, really neat product that keeps us, a lot of the newer projects, keeps us getting a lot of success with, because architects in particular and people building new rooms love the idea of a system that they can hear really well but don't see much of it. And that's very important when you're building a classroom that's supposedly wanting to be future proof. We don't want to necessarily have lots of things hanging off the walls. It's the Front Row EasyRoom product, and as it shows there, it's not just bells and PA, but everything to do with your AV amplification and speech amplification in the room. The other items that you use for other areas, I suppose, we've gone over them, but just to reiterate, IP speakers, great for small offices. Our stream amplifier is great for economy in areas where you might run a staff room or a few smaller teacher offices. And there's another illustration here of what you can do in the principal's office or admin offices, is you can pre-program a button on one of our controllers to actually broadcast an announcement as well. So you can imagine we could give you an 8-button panel, and we could pre-program them with some messages. And button 1, when you press it, says, good morning staff, this is the Monday morning announcement. You could pre-record that and send it in via email and have your IT team put that into the Conductor platform, or you can issue an evacuation from those control buttons as well. There's a lot of other stuff that we can do as well. We're coming online soon with the telephone interface. We still haven't got that running through for the Australian market, but the other items we show here is with all of our classroom control products, you can connect them to your other AV systems. So if you've got projectors, TVs, any AV that's not networkable, we can connect to it via RS-232. That means we can now communicate with it over the Conductor network. So the possibility is that a classroom's TVs or AV systems could display a map of the school in the event of an evacuation. So if you can imagine being able to trigger an evacuation, but then push out a map to be displayed on all of the TVs around the school, which tells people, evacuate, please go to your nearest exit, go to the oval. Yet another thing that provides peace of mind for when we need to action that evacuation plan, that you've got some systems to support how people move through the rooms. There's a lot more detail we could go into, isn't there, Jared, with the Conductor platform? But what you were hoping was to get through with today was just to give people an overview of what you can do with Conductor, and to remind them that for word of mouth, we've been involved with Front Row products for probably near on 15 years now, and we know it, we're proud to think, or we're proud to say that we know it as well as anybody does. And anybody that uses the Front Row Conductor product from word of mouth, it includes an additional 10 hours of on-site support with your package. So, you know, the best thing you can do is, if you want to know more, you can contact Jared. And he will be happy to start the ball rolling. And basically all we need to get from you is a map of your school, an idea on how you want to break the school down, and it's really easy for us to put forward a proposal. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Jared?
I think the beauty of Conductor, Andrew, is, and probably one of the best examples at the moment is what we're going through with Wedge Park Primary School in Melton, where initially they wanted to just a new upgraded bells and PA system. So we put Conductor in, integrated that with their amp and so forth, and that's exactly what they got. They've now come to the situation where they're splitting the school up between junior and senior, and they're running 2 timetables. So we've now gone back to them, and we're now creating zones. And as we said before, that was the example we spoke about, putting the CM800 into one room and powering 2 speakers, because they're 2 classrooms in a building or relocatable building. So it's given them where I'm coming from is, it can be as basic as just a bells and PA system, but it also then gives you can keep adding and expanding and creating zones and keep building on that year on year. Yep. And as you said before, even discussions with North Geelong secondary colleges, the phone systems and so forth, they don't have phones. They're trying, well, here's something they can use that teacher microphone to discuss, to be an intercom service. So they can have that communication as well. So it can be as basic as you want or as sophisticated as you want. And it's just a matter of, there's no real end to it really in the end.
Yeah. So very scalable, easy to upgrade, and, you know, you can start small, build big, and as the budget allows, we can add more functionality. Look, I think that's enough to give people an overview, but, you know, of course, if you want to know more, you'll talk to Jared or myself, and we'll be happy to help you out. So for now, we'll sign off and look forward to hearing from you when you'd like us to talk more about your specific needs at your school and how Front Row Conductor can help you with the support of word of mouth. I'll see you later, and thank you.
Hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.